How Avengers: Age of Ultron taught Marvel a costly box office lesson. Welcome to Tales from the Box Office, where we dive into the fascinating world of box office hits, misses, and everything in between, uncovering the lessons they teach us along the way. Have you ever wondered how to follow up a blockbuster that shattered records? Joss Whedon faced this daunting question in 2012 after the monumental success of The Avengers. His answer? By not trying to make it bigger, he said. Instead, he envisioned a sequel that was more intimate, more emotional, and a natural progression for the beloved characters. But as we know, things didn't quite go as planned. When The Avengers stormed into theaters in 2012, it raked in over $1.5 billion worldwide, making it the third highest-grossing film of all time at that moment, just behind James Cameron's Titanic and Avatar. The pressure was immense for Whedon to deliver a sequel that could live up to such monumental expectations. He aimed for a smaller, more personal story, but the reality of Avengers: Age of Ultron turned out to be much grander than he had envisioned. Fast forward to 2015, and Age of Ultron hit the big screen, marking a pivotal moment for Marvel Studios. The film was a testament to Marvel's cultural dominance, but it also imparted a risky lesson that would echo through the years. In this edition of Tales from the Box Office, we're celebrating the 10th anniversary of Age of Ultron. We'll explore how the film came to be, how it grew beyond Whedon's original vision, its theatrical journey, and the lessons we can glean from it a decade later. Ready to dive in? The movie, Avengers: Age of Ultron. At its core, Age of Ultron follows Tony Stark, played by Robert Downey Jr., as he attempts to launch a peacekeeping initiative to protect Earth from threats beyond the Avengers' capabilities. However, things take a turn for the worse when Ultron, a self-aware and highly intelligent robot, emerges as the film's antagonist. Cue the superhero action. Just months after the success of The Avengers, Marvel secured Whedon with an exclusive contract through 2015, which included not only the sequel but also the creation of a TV series that would become Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Whedon was tasked with creatively shaping the next phase of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, MCU. Despite his desire to keep the sequel smaller, the film quickly spiraled into a larger-than-life spectacle. Paul Bettany transitioned from voicing Tony Stark's AI, Jarvis, to embodying Vision, while Elizabeth Olsen and Aaron Taylor-Johnson made their debuts as Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver, respectively. Whedon also had the challenge of introducing Ultron, portrayed by James Spader, all while setting the stage for future MCU films like Captain America, Civil War and Thor: Ragnarok. The stakes were high, and the narrative complexity was anything but small. A budget that broke records. Whedon later reflected on the film's scale, admitting, "I totes failed to make it smaller. There is a lot of movie." What started as a promising project soon became a grueling experience for him. He shared, "It's been dark. It's been weird. It's been horrible. I feel every day like I didn't do enough." One area where there was no compromise was the film's budget. Age of Ultron became one of the most expensive films ever made, with a staggering budget of $365 million, even after accounting for over $78 million in tax incentives. Adjusted for inflation, that's nearly $492 million today. With a star-studded cast and high-end CGI, Marvel and Disney were banking on this film to cross the $1 billion mark at the box office, a risky gamble for any sequel. The financial roller coaster. With The Avengers, Marvel had achieved something unprecedented. However, by the time Age of Ultron rolled around, the novelty of a shared universe was no longer a selling point. While reviews were generally positive, they didn't quite match the overwhelming praise of its predecessor. The buzz was muted, which is crucial for a film's success. Marvel went all out with marketing, showcasing the film at San Diego Comic-Con and launching an extensive media campaign. When Age of Ultron premiered on May 1, 2015, it opened to a massive $191.2 million domestically. Although it didn't surpass the original's opening weekend, it still ranked as the 11th biggest opening ever, with a global debut of $392.5 million. The film maintained its box office dominance until it faced competition from Tomorrowland, Pitch Perfect 2, and Mad Max: Fury Road on May 15. By then, the narrative was already set, and Marvel had another global hit on its hands. Ultimately, Age of Ultron grossed $459 million domestically and $943.8 million internationally, totaling $1.4 billion worldwide, making it the fifth highest-grossing film at that time. A profitable yet problematic success. While Age of Ultron was undoubtedly a financial success, it still had to contend with the shadow of its predecessor. In March 2016, Deadline estimated the film's profit at $382 million, but this was based on a significantly lower budget than what was actually spent. Over the years, the film has likely generated even more revenue through Blu-ray sales, merchandise, and streaming. Despite its success, the film's exorbitant budget raised eyebrows. Even Avengers: Endgame, which was a much larger film, had a budget of around $350 million. Whedon's sequel didn't align with his original vision, was deemed inferior to the first, and was excessively costly. The silver lining was that by 2015, audiences were fully invested in the MCU, ensuring that no Avengers film would be missed. This created a false sense of security for Marvel, leading them to believe that they could do no wrong. This notion would prove to be a double-edged sword in the years to come. The ripple effects of Age of Ultron. In recent times, Marvel's cultural impact has begun to wane. Films are no longer guaranteed blockbusters simply because they bear the Marvel name. Take The Marvels, for instance, which struggled to reach $200 million worldwide against a hefty $220 million budget. The industry is seeing a trend where $200 million budgets are becoming alarmingly common. The success of Age of Ultron created an illusion that these massive investments were foolproof, but recent underperformers like Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, and Eternals have shown otherwise. While hits like Spider-Man: No Way Home still deliver, the bar has been raised for films to achieve that coveted $1 billion mark. Interestingly, Whedon himself foresaw some of the challenges Marvel would face with its serialized storytelling approach. He warned that the cinematic experience could become too much like episodic TV, diluting the impact of individual films. Lessons learned. As the MCU expanded onto Disney Plus with shows like WandaVision, the issue of oversaturation became apparent. Disney CEO Bob Iger acknowledged that the abundance of MCU content had diluted focus, leading to fewer series being produced each year. Looking ahead, the MCU of 2025 faces numerous challenges. Its continuity has become convoluted, budgets are ballooning, and audiences are growing weary of films that fail to meet expectations. Marvel Studios has had to confront the reality that it is not invincible. The lessons learned from Age of Ultron serve as a cautionary tale about the dangers of overextending and the importance of maintaining quality over quantity. As the franchise gears up for its future, recalibrating its approach will be crucial to avoid the pitfalls of the past. If the lessons of Age of Ultron are heeded, the MCU can continue to thrive without risking its own downfall.